Holding the flute. The flute is considered a really difficult instrument to learn to hold properly. It's never come naturally to me, and that's why I want to share some of the things I do which make holding the flute much more comfortable. I'd like to show you gripping rather than holding the flute, using the flat, fleshy parts of the fingers rather than the fingertips, keeping your hands close to the tube, slouchy fingers, and the importance of holding the flute in front of you. And finally, the over-the-shoulder pickup. I like to feel like I'm gripping my instrument rather than just holding it up. I don't want it to feel like a dead weight on my left hand. I strive to have a lot of surface contact with the instrument and almost a feeling like the instrument is sticking to my fingers. To that end, I think it's good to hold with the flats of the fingers, the fleshy part of the fingers, rather than the fingertips. When I hold something with my fingertips and fingers curved, I can feel more tension going through my arms. When you use the pads of the fingers, you don't have to be so precise about where you place your finger. You can cover those holes with any part of the flat of your finger, and if your fingers are long, let your fingers stick out over the key a little bit. If you were going to hold something like a stick and carry it around and do things with it, you would get a good grip on it and you would have your whole hand in contact with it. You can't exactly do that with the flute, but I like to imagine that I'm keeping the inner part of my main hand knuckle very close to the flute body. Contrary to what you might think, it can actually be very helpful in holding the flute comfortably to let the endmost joints of the fingers be soft and relaxed and not try to bend them or curve them. Keith Underwood calls this letting the fingers slouch on the keys, or slouchy fingers. One really basic thing you should evaluate in your own playing is, are you holding the flute in front of you? It's very easy to make the mistake of twisting to the right and even dropping the shoulder a little bit. This is the way I played until my sophomore year at the conservatory, and I developed some hand pain, so I had to learn to bring the flute out in front and turn my head more to the left. This is a great exercise for picking up the flute and getting your hands slightly rearranged without really having to think about it. That's what I love about it. It's very subtle, but it encourages all the things I've been talking about. Here's the way you do it. Put your flute over your left shoulder. Place your right pinky first and rotate into position. Place the left pinky. Same thing, and into playing position. You may have a feeling that the flute is slightly shorter and you'll have a way better grip on the instrument. Putting the pinkies down first is what encourages your hands to be closer to the flute body. To sum it all up, get a good grip on your flute. Strive to get a lot of surface contact with the instrument and to use the flat, fleshy parts of your fingers. You can also bear some weight on that left thumb. And don't worry if your fingers are not perfectly arched over the keys. To the contrary, you can let them slouch a bit